Welcome to the Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I'm your host, Meredith.
And I'm your host, Cass.
Let's have some fun.
God. So annoying.
Oh, this whole mask thing. I can't wait to get it over with.
I know.
Over and done.
Episode 16.
Episode 16. Woo! Congratulations. I can't believe 16 weeks.
And hopefully we'll be done with masks soon.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I went to Do I always start my story saying, you know, it's funny I went to Starbucks?
A lot of times. Yes, a lot of times.
And so I'm looking through the store that I always go to Starbucks, and I feel like the people that were walking in without their masks weren't vaccinated.
No. Well, you know, we're working on like the trust system, and we proved that from the beginning was no good.
I'm pretty sure they're all walking through like, we don't care. They told us we can take them off. We're taking them off.
They're like, don't leave your house and like go be around a lot of people and go back to your family. And that's exactly what everybody did.
And I'm vaccinated and wear my mask.
Yeah.
Sometimes double it. Depends on who's standing next to me. No.
I feel like I'm being judged. I feel like I got a titty hanging out when I don't have a mask.
It's weird. It's like not wearing a seatbelt now for me.
I know.
I feel
weird.
unsafe.
And my double chin is like,
and everyone be like, oh, the government really got to your head. Yeah, it did.
It did.
I'm still wearing my mask.
And you've been fully vaccinated. For like,
oh yeah, I'm good. I'm ready. My boss is like, yeah, I can't wait to, get you traveling and stuff like that. And I'm just like,
oh, God.
Okay.
At least you still have to wear it on the airplane, so you'll feel comfortable there. As long as you're not wearing it in the car by yourself.
I have a friend on Facebook, love her to death. I've been friends with her mom for years and years and years. And she has, I don't know if she has asthma or something where this mask thing was horrible for her.
Yeah.
And she let us all know every day about it. I was just like, we're going to snooze her for 30 days. Poor thing. Seriously, though, I love her.
I've snoozed a lot of people since I've been back on Facebook.
She put a picture on Facebook of her at the gym with a mesh mask on.
I remember you showing me that.
And she said, I can't believe it. They're trying to kick me out because I'm wearing a mesh mask. I'm like, bitch, that is not helping anything.
And then didn't she end up getting COVID?
Oh, yeah, she got COVID. But it was her husband's fault. She said he got it from work.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't being at the gym with 40 other people.
So super exciting.
Yes.
We have a guest today.
We do.
Woo!
Good evening.
Yay!
It's so cool to be with you guys again.
Oh, we're so happy that you're here. So she will remain nameless because she's in loss prevention.
Yep.
She's a secret.
She's a secret. But she's got some really funny stories.
It's going to be really hard
for us.
to not say who you are.
Yeah, we're going to have to be careful.
This is going to be a lot of edits, Meredith. I hope you're prepared.
So all the listeners, if you're thinking about stealing that candy bar or tucking that steak down your pants, don't do it because she's going to get you.
She says do it.
Do it.
Do it. She likes to tackle people out the door, so.
Not anymore.
No. But you used to, right?
We did used to go hands-on. Yep.
It's so crazy.
Yep. And now I say it's not worth breaking a fingernail.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
No.
You can have it. But I'll see you in a few minutes because police are coming.
Yeah.
Yep. They'll bring you
That's
back.
probably the best thing because I worked a little bit in that department also. And like you would call the cops and they'd like rush right over because they were all excited.
Yep. The location you used to be at was on point.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't wait to get into hearing like the different reactions from people when you stop them.
Oh my God.
Like I'm sure you have so many different
They give you
personalities.
every excuse in the book.
You know, you got the mad ones, sad ones, I didn't do it ones, denial, all that
Oh
kind
my
of
God,
stuff.
I forgot I didn't pay.
For $143 worth of things, but I bought the 2 apples. Yep.
What do you mean I don't have a cart full of apples? I weighed it all.
Oh, that's a good one recently. But I have the sticker on here, right, for 83 cents.
Yeah.
But those are Granny Smith's, so that's actually $7 worth of apples.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's stupid. It's just a few dollars, but it really adds up fast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us a good story.
Oh my gosh.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself without letting everyone know who you are?
Yeah, okay. So I think when people say, like, how long have you been with that company? I say, well, I've been doing this since the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. But, like, I go back with this company to a warehouse in the freazer when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And that was just a sort of a step in the door, a foot in the door. That was sort of more how do you say, a man's job.
Yeah.
Without saying that. But I was kind of tough. And I lost 10 pounds before I went in the Army, so I wouldn't have to have a weight waiver. That's funny. But I don't know. I got out of the military. I had a baby, went to a store in another state with this company and took their little, it wasn't a test. It was a survey to see if you qualify for this job. But it was like a test, because if you failed it, you failed it.
You failed it.
Yep.
Was it like a mental health?
It was
test?
it was like 90 questions, but it was 30 questions 3 times to see if you're consistent with your answers.
What?
Oh, wow.
Would they word it differently?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And so I took it, and the quote was, "They failed miserably." It was a friend of mine and I.
Wow.
And we failed their survey miserably, which at the time was devastating because that was my hometown.
Oh my God.
And that was supposed to be confidential. And if that gets out, what? Now I'm a thief?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's funny because I think it took another maybe handful of years, maybe 6 years or something after that. And then I landed this company. Well, oh wait, it's the same one. And then after maybe a year, I'm comfortable in that position, and then I'm doing really good. And then I got really, really good. So
Yeah.
But I'm self-motivated. And when you work alone, sometimes you just got to make the day pass.
Right.
And
Yeah,
for
so you
sure.
work.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
I know. I would just watch you stalk people. And you'd be like, hey, people didn't know. They'd be like, hey. And you'd be like, just give them the dirtiest look, shut the fuck up. Stop calling me out.
Oh, yeah, I deal with that now still.
Yeah.
Some people just don't get it, and that's fine. But some people, it's, I know you get it. So I know I'm nice to you. I want to look you in the face. I want to say hello. I save it for the back room on purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I try to overdo it when there's no customers around, behind closed doors, so they know, look, I'm nice and I'm approachable, but don't mess with me when I'm not looking at you.
When you're on the floor, you're working.
Yeah.
So.
When you see me hiding in the clothes, don't talk to me.
Oh, I'm guilty of that because
You hide in the clothes?
no. You hide in the clothes, and I'm guilty of walking past, seeing you, and going, "Oh, hey!"
I don't remember you ever doing that to me. No.
I'm pretty sure I've done it a couple times.
God, that's funny.
And I just kind of, hit my forehead "Oh, he's on the
shoot.
floor. Stop
Yeah.
it."
There have been a few times where I tried to bounce back from that, "Oh, hey, how are you? How's your mom? Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in so long. So how long have you worked here?" And you're just trying to get your bearings about you and hoping that the person you're watching carries on and catch up later. But
Doesn't notice that you've been called out.
yeah.
Do you have certain rules that you follow before you decide to approach someone and let them know? Is there guidelines?
Oh,
or?
yeah. Yeah, I think we have as far as I understand, this company has the strictest guidelines before you make an approach. And the store I used to be at, you just had to do it all on the floor.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was such a floor walker. The store I'm at now has a lot more cameras.
You got really good cameras too. I've seen those cameras.
They are so good.
They
and
are
now,
so good.
Now they're coming out with cameras that are like a fisheye that looks straight down. And when you move the mouse or zoom in, you can look down and all the way around in a 360.
Like a 360.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you don't move it like a pan-tilt zoom, so they call
Yeah.
it, but you can see forever. And
Oh,
so
that's neat.
you may not get everything you want. Like we do a lot of it happened yesterday cases, and
Yeah.
we put those together. But yeah, we have certain steps that we have to have, and if you don't have them all, you don't make a stop.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to calm down from they're stealing, I gotta stop them, to just, that's okay. I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're going to come back once they get away with it.
They always do.
Always do.
And we
I was
track
just going to
them,
ask
so.
that because she said it's what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it happened yesterday. How are you going to? But they all come back.
Yeah.
They're customers. They're the same people
You
that
know-
say, I'm never coming back
never coming
again.
in
And
here
you just
again.
say, see you tomorrow,
Or they just go to another store.
Yeah.
And they're waiting for you there too.
So tell me if you ever had to deal with this, because I dealt with this a little bit. It was a set of twins. So one would come in and take something, but then the next day it would be like a different. So the whole company was trying to build this case against what they thought was one guy.
Oh man, I must
and it
have.
turned out to be two.
Oh, this
Oh, wow.
rings a bell.
I really need a twin.
But
Yeah.
I think I was at that other job for that year.
Yes, you were.
Oh.
You were not. You were not
I
at
do
my
remember-
location.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what'd you do?
I was gone. after that. I didn't, I didn't ever.
Cassandra's like, y'all are on your own.
Yeah.
Don't let the door hit
I put both their pictures up on the wall of shame, and there you go.
So what would they do? They would come in. One would take something.
Yeah,
and then
like the next day. So then they would be like, "Oh, well, you were here yesterday." No, I wasn't. Blah blah blah. I have a twin brother, and like that's when they like finally figured out.
them.
Did they catch him finally? Because then that's when they found out, like, oh, they're twins. Like, so you never knew which one it was. Like one would come in, shop normally, and the other one would steal. So like you never knew which one.
Oh,
was
wow.
I don't know why I didn't think of this. I have friends that are twins. I have to ask them. If
Yeah,
they ever did that.
right. Yeah, that's crazy.
I told my mom I would tell this one story.
Mm-hmm.
So she loves to hear the stories, and she gets to hear them like the day of.
Yeah.
Other people hear them as like a once upon a time
Mhm.
story. But there was this one time somebody stole a Get Rich Quick book. And I don't remember
Oh
what
my
it was
God.
called, but this was years ago, and it was at that first location. And they stuck it in the seat of the cart in between the ads. And it wasn't just sitting there and like, oh, it got lost in the papers. Like I watched them place it so you couldn't see it. And they went to the self-checkout. Self-checkouts were new at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember a manager had to come over and help them with something. Maybe it was coupons. And while their back was turned, I might have took the book. And my mom was like, oh, this day is called Who Took the Book I Took. So
Who took the damn book that I took?
they got out to their car, just ads everywhere, can't find the book. I'm sorry. Should have paid for that.
You stole from the stealer. Oh, that's
Just saying I
hilarious.
might have. Might have.
Yeah.
That
Might have
may
done something like
happened.
that one other time.
I like the sticker changers.
Oh, yeah.
And
So
like
many.
like you said,
Yeah.
they would put like a sticker. Like we had this lady that would come in kind of late at night, and I remember it was like a baby gate, and she put like an 87-cent like markdown
geez.
sticker on it. I'm pretty sure she got busted that night, and that was not her first time getting busted. I didn't know at the time, but I always thought she was kind of weird. Mainly her hair set it off for me. Made me very like. She was very suspicious to me,
Yeah.
like her hairdo.
And you can't miss it, right? Some things you just see clear
Yes.
across the store.
Yes.
The shoes, the hair.
Yes. And every
sometimes
time she
even-
would come in, I would be like, she's here. She's here.
You mean she's hair?
She's here. The hair's here.
Oh, man.
She's hair. She's hair. It's all hair.
This is a bad time of year for hair.
Oh.
I'm so hot. I am so. I
have curly
complain.
hair?
No,
Okay.
it's straight as a board. But I complained all winter that I was so cold, and now I'm like, yay! I get to complain that I'm so.
Yeah.
hot.
I can't complain. I can I'm just stating the facts. I'm not complaining because tomorrow it's going to snow, which, by the way, tomorrow it's going to be like
50
I
or 60,
know,
yeah.
yeah. And I'm gonna be like,
Probably.
this is delicious.
Yeah,
I love
yes,
it.
you're probably the reason that it's going to be that way. Thank you very much.
And I'm going camping this weekend, so of course
And it's
it'll
going to be
rain.
back to 80, so good luck.
Okay.
Let me know how you feel getting all
I'll
sweaty.
be sweaty. I'll be complaining the whole time.
I do like the heat, though.
I
You
do
can always
too. I do
strip
too.
down,
I'm a
but
fan
you
of
can't
the-
warm up.
I feel
Yeah.
like I'm always cold, so I love summer.
Yes.
I love sweating.
I like spring and fall.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
me. I like spring and I
but
like
it's never
fall.
long enough, so
Yeah,
you
I
have
was
to
gonna
put
say,
up
like,
with
all
either
2
being
weeks is
freezing
enough.
or
Yeah.
sweating. So
I don't, I think I'm probably more of a winter person, which is so funny because I want to move to Florida. But I'm more of a winter person because I feel like you can just keep piling clothes on.
No.
But once you're
No.
down to like your bathing suit, that's it.
Okay, that's true, but
Yeah.
how many clothes can you pile on before you just look like the kid from the Christmas
That's
story?
fine. If I'm
can't
that
put my
cold,
arms
I will
down.
walk around like that, But if I'm hot, I'm just like, everything is
Yeah.
sticking to me. I told Meredith I'd literally peel my pants off when I came home from work
Oh,
today.
gosh,
They were
that does
so
happen.
gross. I was in the car a lot today. I drove a lot today.
They
So
have air conditioning, you know.
I know. Well, it doesn't get my ass.
Oh, they have. Okay, we'll have to look into air conditioned seats
yeah,
for you on the
I
next
know.
ride.
But Meredith
Okay.
has those, and they make you have to pee.
What?
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
were really cold on
So
my
she
car.
tried it with
Dang.
me. She was like, "All right, I'm gonna put your seat coolers on," and I'm like, "Yep, I have to pee.
Same thing.
I have
Yeah.
to pee."
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me know
Yeah.
ahead of time.
Yeah.
I have a heating pad at my feet, pretty much 365
Oh my
days a
gosh.
year.
Yeah.
But then again, the AC's cranked in the summer and in the winter. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I made Johnny leave the bedroom door open last night, and I put a fan in the hallway. Plus, he has his fan on his side of the bed, and I have my fan on my side of the bed. And I still slept with no shirt on because I was so hot.
And the fan's blowing on you.
Both of them.
Oh, see, I like the sound. I don't want the air
No.
on
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, and I was
like
like
it.
this. It's so hot.
And
We have
Diesel's
our
over
air
on the
on.
other side laying out the same.
No, he's not allowed in the bedroom.
Oh, well, he's laying somewhere.
I wake
His
up with
lights
like
on, yeah.
dry mouth.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If a fan is on, forget
Oh yeah.
it.
I wake up
You
like
You go to
2
smile and your
times,
lips
yeah.
are all chapped and
My lips
cracked.
get stuck on my
Doing like the
teeth.
super trooper thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Did you guys remember that I used to like to scare people?
Yeah.
Always. I am a victim of that.
Used
always.
to, or you still don't?
Well,
you don't
it
do
took me a long time.
Always. You
It
would
took me
always
a long
get
time
me.
at the new location to start doing that because I didn't
Okay.
really know too many people.
Yeah.
But I do remember a time at the first store. We had a store director. So I'm under the desk and he comes in and pulls the seat out and jumps right in it. And I just grab his ankle.
Oh my
and
God.
right? He squealed like a little girl.
Oh my
It
God.
was hysterical. Like those were the really funny kind. But then there was one time somebody was coming around the corner. I didn't know about a certain medical issue she may have had.
Oh,
and I
no.
scared her.
Oh,
I scared,
no.
Well, besides, she was fine, but I almost took a foot to the face.
Oh my God.
I was
She
on my
almost
hands and
roundhouse
knees.
kicked you.
Oh, it would have just been like right there because I was on my hands and knees.
Oh my God.
So I think I backed off for a little while at that time, but
You scared the hell out of me like so many times. You would just like come out of nowhere and just be like, blah, and I'd be like,
I think you scare easily.
I
though.
do. Shannon is the worst too.
I'm gonna
She
get her
always,
between now and the time this
You have
airs.
to. You
She's
have to
mine
do
now.
it for me.
You know she's mine,
and you
right?
have to be like, that's for Cass. Oh my God.
All right, I'll
She
see if I
used
can
to-
Snapchat it.
I'd be walking in at like 5:30 in the morning to like go get my donuts for the gas station. I'd be like, doo-doo-doo. And all of a sudden she would jump out from like behind the meat case and I'd almost pee my pants.
Oh my gosh.
And there's nobody in the store, you know, that early in the morning,
I'm gonna
except
get
for
her.
people working. And they'd be like, what the hell was that? And I'm like, fucking Shannon.
There was one time, this isn't funny as much as it just takes perseverance, but I remember going to work one Sunday after church. So I'm wearing like slacks, a nice shirt, and just slip-on shoes. I don't dress up too much, but Sunday morning for a couple
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like Saturday night showers, whether
Yeah.
you need it or not. you
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
You
Yep.
take one.
and I go to work. And I don't know if I was actually working or shopping. I think I went to work, and I probably just figured I wouldn't do a whole lot because I'm wearing slip-ons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I see this kid, and he was a vendor. And I think it was the sample people.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he
Yeah.
was one, but he was young. We didn't usually have too many like real young
They
ones.
were
but
usually real old ladies.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
and some of them are great.
I know.
Okay, anyway, so I walk by. I'm just kind of doing my thing, trucking around, and
Yeah.
I see him in the knife aisle, and knives are just popular. So I'm like, okay, kind of watch this. He goes in the back with it. I kind of go enough to peek and see where he's at. He goes and sets it on his little display or like their little part of the racking
Yeah.
back there. And then he walks away. So I go over and I'm like, okay, where is it? Okay, it's still in the package. All right. And then I look behind and I'm looking around and there's a big box. And I'm like, oh, guess I'm going in the box.
Oh my God, you got in the box.
I got in the box. And then I'm in there. And I mean, this is like more than 10 years ago. So I'm
Dude.
10 years younger. I can squat for a while. I can kneel some, but like it's cold back there. I
Okay,
don't
and
know
first
what
of
time
all,
of year.
like anytime I play hide and seek, 10 seconds in I have to pee. Like, you know what I mean? I would be like,
Okay.
oh my God, kid, hurry up. I have to pee so bad. Get me out of this box.
I'm over here.
I'm
Find
going to
me.
pee in the box.
Yeah. I just remember calling him and I'm like, can you bring me a stool? Like, can you find something and just bring it to me? So I don't know if he went on the sales floor or in the back room, but he just brought this little footstool and I was like, thanks. Whatever you got, just give it to me.
How big is this box you're hiding in?
Like,
Is it like a refrigerator
not a
box?
refrigerator because that's real tall, but it's probably 5 feet tall because I don't think I could stand up in it.
Oh, it's like a pallet box,
but it
maybe.
wasn't like super small.
Yeah, like something
Like
that
a
would cover-
watermelon box?
Yeah, yeah, maybe
yeah,
about
but
that.
taller.
Okay.
Okay.
But
All
taller.
right.
Because I could sit in it and crouch, and then I had to poke a hole
Oh my God.
Yeah,
so I could
yeah.
see out of the box. And I got him.
Wow.
He came back after
Guys,
a
like, I
while,
feel
but
like I'm
I think
being
I was in
watched.
there. I think I was in there for 3 or 4 hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was cold. I just remember my feet being cold, and I hate cold feet.
That is
Yeah.
so
But,
funny.
Like, yeah.
I can't believe you hid in a box
But-
for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to pee?
Oh, I don't know. I probably did.
She probably turns all that off.
There,
I
it's,
can't.
It's
okay,
more
there
of
is
the,
there is a point where you're just like, nope, you're just gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
And you do. You just sometimes when you're walking around, you're like, oh, okay, it's time for a pit stop, and then you see something, and you're like, oh, gonna wait, and then you don't even think about it hardly until they're gone. Like you get them in the office, you process them, cops or not, and they're gone, and then you just kind of take a breath, and you're like, oh, I gotta pee.
Oh yeah.
I gotta go.
Oh yeah.
It's
I
gotta be
wanted to go pee
adrenaline.
3 hours ago.
Right. And my boss does it all the time too. But
It's got to be adrenaline. The
I
adrenaline
think.
stops all the feelings
and
of
you just
separate
don't
what
have a
you're doing.
choice because you can't break away.
You have to make sure you see what they're doing because you can't just.
Right.
Can't
Except
just
now
take a
that I have a
bathroom.
partner in the store most of the time, I'm like, if she says, oh man, I got to pee, I'm like, you better go now.
Yeah.
I'm running on the floor. She'll go if I have to go bad enough or if I just don't want to hold it. And it looks like we have time. We'll take turns.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of trust there.
You have to see concealment, right?
Oh yeah.
That's like
concealment,
selection,
no breaks and surveillance.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's almost across the board.
Yeah.
Or it should be.
Yeah, it should be.
If it's
I mean, I know
not,
you said
I
they're
don't
very
know.
strict and they have the strictest.
I don't know. I've seen
but-
some messed up like Facebook videos where they're stopping people and
Oh
it's
my
like
gosh.
they didn't even take anything and like the lady's like it's right here on my receipt because she like bought her kid a toy
Oh man.
and the kid's playing with the toy and she had paid for it and they still like made her go into the office and all this and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. I had some bad stops back in the day, but I do feel bad. I mean, I want to feel bad for people that make like really, really bad ones. Like you don't have anything. What did you even initiate that?
Right.
What did you think you saw? But, you know, if you're that gung-ho, I can't feel that bad for you because maybe you
Yeah.
shouldn't be there then.
Yeah.
So the people that will call you in the store, because I saw this a lot when we
Team
all
members?
worked together. When team members would call you in the store, does that make your job easier, harder? Like I know that you have a lot
I love
of
it.
people. Okay, they will call and say, "Hey, something's going on
Yeah.
here." Okay, and you take all those calls seriously.
In my old store, I took all of them. And if I didn't respond to it right away, if it was happening now and I didn't respond to it now, it's because I didn't have a choice.
Right, you were doing
But
something else.
Yeah,
or-
I always, and it's taken me a long time in this new store to get people to understand I don't need you to confirm that they're doing something
Yeah.
wrong. Just
Yeah.
call me and tell me that it doesn't seem right.
Right.
And let me do the rest.
Take your
because-
instincts, your
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
instinct.
Yeah.
Because
Trust
if
it.
you don't do my job and you think something's weird, it's probably really
Yeah.
weird or really, suspicious or whatever. So
Because you're just suspicious of everybody that walks in the door.
no, but
No.
no, but if I see it, like I've been doing it so long, I can't turn it off. I can't tell you it's hard to shop in other stores. Well,
Oh my god!
I mean, I
'cause,
don't
yeah,
remember.
Then you're like watching people at other stores.
I'm not watching. I just see it.
Oh my god!
That's the horrible thing is like you can't. It's hard to turn it off.
Yeah.
It makes me think that it happens a lot. And because
yeah.
well, you were in the
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
I was not, so I think I'm just naive to it. Like no one does that kind of stuff
Yeah.
around me.
Right,
And,
and
you
you're
know,
not
because
thinking
I
of
just
that. You have a shopping list,
and I don't do it. So I don't
And you
look-
don't do it.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
I
other
don't
thing.
you know,
Yep.
if I was someone that did it, I'd probably be like, hey, that was a good idea that they just did. I'm
I
like,
know.
you know, I
Well,
just
that's
don't.
what I said. Working retail, if it taught me anything, it was how to steal.
Yeah.
Oh
like
man.
working at the service desk and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I would have never thought to do that.
Yeah.
I would have never thought to take a shirt from my closet, put a tag on it from that store, and return
And
it.
return
Yep.
it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yep.
it's like these people are ballsy. You know.
Even
can't
just
believe
the
it.
you know the short videos I would see if I had to be a part of something, the way that they put it in their hands and the way they do like this magician
Yeah.
up their sleeves and all
Yeah.
that. I don't got time for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know,
When you're not like when that's not what you're there for. Like even
Yeah.
before I did this job, if I went to the store, I don't think I ever saw somebody steal.
Right.
yeah.
I mean, they paid me full-time hours for 3 months before I ever saw it.
mm-hmm.
You just have
But they
to
must know
train
that.
yourself.
Yeah, they must know that that's
Yeah,
that
that
they're
it's gonna
giving
take
you free.
some
It's going to
time.
take some
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
plus, they want you to do it right. They don't want you
Yeah,
to
for
do
sure.
something, you know, try to catch someone once a month that really isn't happening because then, you know, nothing's happening. You know.
I'll admit I was not good at it.
Aw.
But I wasn't good at it. I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, nothing for 3 months.
Yeah.
And then it took me a full year to be like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember when I was working with that guy, right?
Yeah,
When I first
yeah.
started doing it.
and he trained you not
I'm
well.
just laughing. No, it's just like she said. Either like you just have to give yourself time to like learn what you're looking for. You know,
How long were you in that position? It couldn't have been long.
it was less than a year.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Um,
And in your defense, you were not trained.
no, I
They did
wasn't.
not do you justice.
No, I wasn't.
You didn't get a good chance.
No,
I tried to take
Yeah.
you. You
Yeah.
refused me.
I know.
BT dubs.
Who?
I know.
So were you trained by someone good? You think, or do you think it's your army background, or what is the?
Well, not only was I trained because there were people in the store with me. Back in the day, they had more people in store than they do now. But if I was alone, I walked.
Yeah.
And people are doing this now. And cell phones came out not too long after or right about the time, early 2000s, right? Cell phones.
Yeah.
So before cell phones came out, and even with the flip ones, you're still texting people.
Yeah.
You're still doing your bleep bleep Nextel thing, you know, and you're not paying attention. So, but I think like I can't sit around too long. So if I was if I need a break, fine, just go sit down for a few minutes, watch cameras, look at your email, do what you got to do. But all in all, like, okay, let's go do a lap. Let's go walk.
Yeah.
And I just kept doing it and doing it. And when I train people, I tell them that when you look at something and you're questioning what's in their cart or what's that worth?
Yeah.
Or should that be spider wrapped, or where are they in the store, or what kind of bags do they have, or do they have a big coat on? Do they have crappy shoes and they're in the shoe department?
Yeah.
When you think of these questions, don't stop looking until you answer all those questions. And if the answers satisfy you and you don't feel like there's anything to watch, fine, walk away. But like, don't walk away just because you glanced and saw like, oh, she looks like she can afford 2 bottles of alcohol, and then walk because did you see her purse?
Yeah.
Maybe she can afford them, or maybe she does look old enough to buy them. It doesn't mean they're going to. You know?
So without giving out the number one item, what's the number
I don't know
two
if there is
item?
one. No, it would just be like liquor,
Yeah.
Champion, Puma.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Oh, it's
all
like
the
that.
name brand
Okay.
now stuff.
Which
yeah.
Champion is
Champion.
just
You
hysterical
mean
to
you
me.
mean Walmart brand?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's exactly what
My nephews
sister
are like,
said
oh
the
my God,
same.
look at this cool I was like, we got that from Kmart in '98,
Yes.
and he's like, no, this is
For
different. And I'm like,
$3.
no, it ain't. We got made fun of for wearing that shit when we were
So
kids.
liquor's the big
Yes.
one.
Liquor,
I mean, but
yeah.
all of it. This is like, I don't know if there is,
Like a
if there's a number
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
because
I
everyone's
would
different. People are
yes.
walking in
Yes.
for liquor. They're walking in for makeup. They're walking in for maybe some necessities.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Which they
the
shouldn't
big
be doing
ones.
that either.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. The big ones are, am I stealing it for resale for money for myself?
Yeah.
Or am I stealing it to support my habit?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I just not want to pay for it, or can I really not afford it?
Yeah.
I mean, we have guidelines, so it doesn't really matter why you did it.
Right, of course.
I mean, if I had leeway, maybe the reason you did it would change something. I'm not sure. I can't even think of a case.
Well, somebody's
'Cause we
stealing
just-
baby formula because their baby's starving.
Wrong.
Nobody ever
It's
does.
always
No.
for resale.
Nobody ever does.
Never
That's
happened.
That's always for resale.
It
isn't
never
or
happens.
returns. I've seen a lot of returns.
It
They try to
never
return the
happens.
baby
Yeah.
formula, and you know they stole it.
Like, okay, so if you saw a mom and a kid walking around the store and the kid was eating a banana, are you going to say anything?
No.
Right? You know, like whatever.
I might say, make sure you throw that peel away because I don't need a slip and fall.
Because I'm
Safety
on the safety
queen.
team.
I heard your, the last podcast or 2 podcasts ago to be, you said you might walk up to somebody and be like, you know, that's not safe, right? And I was like, bingo. I mean, there were times, most of the time, I think I would just be like, hey,
Hey.
don't do that, okay?
Yeah.
But a couple times I'd be like, look, dude, you're just a number here when it gets all in the paperwork. But I care about you. So when you slip and fall and break your hand or your wrist,
Oh
you're going
my
to get arthritis
God.
in 10 years and nobody cares about you
Oh
in 10
my
years.
God.
So can you please not do that?
do you ever
That
get
is
like
so funny.
deer eyes, like in the headlights, where they just like look at
Well,
you like,
yeah,
what are
they
you
always
talking
do.
about?
Yeah, they always do. No, because they're like, oh my God, I never.
Well,
thought
yeah,
of
they
it
don't want
like
to.
that.
Yeah, and nobody wants somebody from like
Yeah.
security to
Yeah.
approach them
Yeah.
anyway.
You don't wear a uniform, right?
There,
Yeah.
That was
You're-
probably the best part of that job.
it
Yeah.
really was.
You didn't have to
Yeah.
wear.
I mean, I wish
You
I
can
had
wear
a
whatever
little
you
bit
want.
of a
I
clothing
wear
allowance,
jeans every
but-
day.
Yeah.
Yep,
Jeans every
Jeans.
day. So
Mhm.
nice.
I've seen leggings. I've seen sweats. And we're not supposed to wear shorts, but I've seen shorts.
Mm.
Oh my
So,
God,
like,
I
you-
would have worn shorts
Yeah.
because it makes
I
you
used
blend
to.
in better.
I
If you're
used to.
hiding
makes
in
you
a
blend
clothes
in
rack.
better. Yeah.
As long as there's shorts hanging on the clothes rack.
Yeah.
You know, that was my big thing is that like, okay, here I am walking around without a purse. So I would
Oh,
carry
yeah,
my
take one off
purse
the
around
shelf.
on purpose.
Your
you know,
own?
like, yeah.
No, take one off the shelf.
No, I would just carry it
Oh,
with
no,
a
man,
price
I've worn
tag on it.
You tuck it in the zipper.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Jacket off the rack, sweatshirt off
Oh
the
my
rack.
God, you're
Oh,
just
yeah.
walking around in
Oh, yeah.
the whole store's gear.
I'll put it back. I mean, now it's COVID, so I can't remember the last time I've done
Oh,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, we used to. And a purse is just a purse.
Yeah.
Can you remember your most expensive theft?
Probably had
My-
a couple of them.
My super very first one was just over $1,000, which was like, I don't even think I understood that was huge for that location
Right.
at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And she was really what they would call a klepto because she just took everything. I mean, she took the little umbrellas you put in your drink.
Oh my gosh.
She took a book on computers. She took the little copper things like knickknacks that you might hang in your kitchen or put on a shelf.
Just
Just
everything.
the most random. Of
So it
every
wasn't any
CDs.
big things, not a big TV.
No, for her it was just all this.
All a bunch
And I
of
don't
little
even
crap.
remember.
Yeah, do you remember why she was taking all that? Is it for gifts for
She-
someone? Did she
Nope.
own a restaurant?
I
Did she-
remember they had their own company, and I remember that she drove a Ford Expedition. I don't know why I remember this, and she had a roll of hundreds in the front seat.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that-
god.
So the
I always wonder
officer
about
walked
that.
her out to the car. She took 100 or 200 off there for her bail, and they left.
Oh
and
my
I was like, "Are you
gosh.
serious? Oh my
Why?
gosh."
Wow.
Why would that?
Because it's something that's wrong with you. Kleptomania.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a thing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's
Yeah.
for the thrill.
But there have been some high. Oh wait, he was probably only 800. We've had a couple that were thousands, but like those are the kind that you don't even approach.
Yeah.
You see it. You see what's in their cart. You see how many there are, how many people, if there's more than one involved, and you see how they're acting, how many people are in their group. And sometimes you see tools, depending on if they cut spider wraps off and stuff, and you just have to kind of evaluate the whole thing. And sometimes they never even know that we saw them. We just call the police, and they usually meet them in the parking lot.
Yeah.
How
And
fast do the police come? Are they pretty good where you're at?
Yeah, they're pretty good. It depends on what time of day, because if it's shift
Sure.
change, that can be difficult. But some police departments overlap, so there's
Yeah.
always a guy ready. And despite popular belief, just because the PD is close to a location doesn't mean that there's officers there.
Right.
They don't
Right,
work
of
there. They're
course.
all over town.
Yeah.
So I've been at locations where the police are across town, and I've been at places where they're not too far away. But yeah, they're pretty good there. And the more intense it is, it almost seems like the faster they show up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're ready to rumble.
Yeah. So
So okay, so if you see like what you just described would be like a professional to me, right?
Yeah.
So that would be someone that you wouldn't want to put
Right.
your life in danger,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
So then
Right.
you would call.
right.
But then there's others that don't have the tools, maybe just have a big
Mhm.
purse, and then you know that you can stop.
oh
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those are easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's people like you and me that it's just like, hey, I work for the store. Can you just follow my partner back in to talk about some unpaid for
Right.
items? No big deal. Some of the younger kids might, depending on how many there are, and like the whole thing, like, hey, come here. Hey, let me talk to you for a minute. So I work here and blah, and it's just kind of, everything's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But I have stepped in front of like the ORC, organized
Mhm,
retail crime
mhm.
cases. I did step in front of one. Was it last year or the year before? And
Those ones were scary too. They were
yeah,
scary
they
people.
can be. And I just played like I'm just me, right? And I only did it to stall him because I knew it wasn't going to stop.
What did you do?
I just said, hey, I just need to get my stuff back. So just have a good day, sir. Keep walking. He's like, no, this is my stuff. I was going to return it. And I'm like, no, I understand, but this isn't yours. It's mine. So I just want you to have a good day. Go on. And he was like, no. And he just,
Oh
So
my
he actually
God.
stalled himself.
he did.
Yeah.
And
He
you
did,
had
I
already
was
called the
super-
police.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
my partner was calling
Or-
at
oh,
the same
okay,
time.
okay.
Yeah. But
Because
I
those
was
guys,
the-
when you saw them walk in, it was boom. You were
I didn't
on the
see
phone.
him walk in.
Really?
all I had was selection on one item.
Oh my gosh.
And the rest of the cart was full. It was
Filled.
like we saw like selection of knives, but he had like a knife block, but he had I don't know, a microwave. He did have baby formula. I think he had some diapers, but a lot of like kitchen stuff that was
Yeah.
a little
Oh,
higher.
I mean, so he's just renting out a new place with a new
Yeah,
kid. I mean, I
right.
get it. You
Well,
got to
so
get
that
the
was-
stuff, you know.
So his story
one way or
was,
another.
I got too much stuff. I need to return this. They were gifts, but
Mm.
then they said no, and he left with them.
So did he walk into the store, get all this stuff, then go up
Yeah.
to
Right.
the service desk?
Yeah, he hung
Oh.
around like he was going to go through a checkout lane. And while we were kind of waiting to see like what's this actually going to be, because we know this is not going to be a purchase, it
Yeah.
just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Then he went up to the service desk and tried to return it. And when they denied him, then we went. Well, me and a regular team member went to make the stop while my boss stayed on cameras and
Yeah.
called the police. But that was a little. I mean, it's a little bit uneasy, but
That
like
was edgy. Yeah.
yeah.
Ugh.
So you have an office in the back or like a jail, right?
Yeah,
we'll
it's
just say.
actually-
in the back.
Yeah, it's a jail. It's a straight up jail.
In this location, it's in the front. But
Oh,
my
okay.
old building, it
Oh,
was in the
yeah.
back.
Oh,
But
oh, that's
yeah.
quicker then from the
Yeah.
front to the.
Yeah.
So, have you ever felt threatened when you were back there or up in your office?
Not in the office, although there's one door in. and
Yeah.
one door
Right.
out.
And I mean, I shouldn't say this because you never seem like anyone that would be threatened about anything, no matter what comes your way.
I
But
did get pepper sprayed.
Yeah,
Oh my
okay,
God,
that's- yeah.
you did?
You didn't see this?
No.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was something.
and that was in the office or because you
Nope,
stopped
that was
them?
at the door. Yep, I went to stop her, and that was like you never saw it coming because what the person stole was like a jersey, a couple things from health and beauty care.
So maybe like $100.
I don't even know if it was 100.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
it was
my
130. I think it was
God.
130 something. And it was like she knew it was coming and she was ready. So not only did she reach for it as I was coming around from behind her, because we do keep a reactionary gap, but
Right.
it's pepper spray. It
Right.
went across the whole like entrance
Yeah.
and hit the wall. But she left there and went and did it again just down the street in the same town and got 2 people.
Oh, wow.
So-
Oh my God.
And you can't do anything with that. Note to the listeners, there are wipes for pepper spray. Get some if you ever think you're going to encounter that. But you don't know that. The paramedics show up as a precautionary measure.
Sure.
Probably in case people are like allergic or have
Yeah,
like,
of course.
a serious
I wouldn't know. I've never
reaction.
been pepper sprayed before, so I wouldn't know if I was allergic.
I am in shock. My mouth has been hanging open since you started telling.
Okay, so you know how so one thing is you blink and your eyes burn for, my eyes probably burned for 20 minutes. I don't know, 15, 20 minutes.
It's a long
and you
20
just-
minutes.
It is, but it got me just on the edge of the face and it didn't hurt
Oh, okay.
until it like went in my eye.
Oh,
and I was
my
talking to
God.
her and keeping my distance but moving with her while she was doing it, and you don't want to believe that what you're seeing is what you're seeing. So
Yeah.
I probably didn't respond in the best way, but it didn't really get me to where it affected me until she was long gone. And then I was like, oh, it's in my eye.
Yeah.
Well, then when you wash, everywhere that the water runs,
Is where it's
burns.
going to,
Oh
yeah.
my
yeah.
so
God.
after the eyes quit and all during, imagine burning your arm on the oven and you've got this burn
Yeah.
and it just stings and stings and stings and stings and stings and stings some more.
Yeah.
My whole face.
Oh
I mean,
my
Everything
God.
except like my chin and my lower lip. It was just the weirdest. So as much as I don't like cold, a bag of ice and I just laid it on my face. It was the only relief. And then I went home. I don't know why I didn't go home, but I didn't. A couple hours later when my shift was over.
There could always be
She's
one
a
more criminal.
soldier. She's a soldier. Holy cow.
My face is
man.
burning, but I'm getting one more person tonight.
Oh man. But I didn't, just for the record.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But I got home and a new officer had said, hey, when you get home, and we knew it was in my hair because I used Clorox wipes just to see,
Yeah.
and they were orange. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, it's in my hair. So I got home and he said, when you wash, let the water fall off of you, not like run down you in the shower.
Oh, God, yeah.
And
'cause
so
it
I
gets
did.
on your-
I flipped my head over and I was really,
Hoo-ha.
really careful.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm glad I thought ahead of time
Oh my
or that I was told not to
God.
let it run down.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I did. I just flipped my head over and did it kind of like as if I was in the kitchen sink. I don't know why I didn't. And then I get all done. I'm good. And I get out of the shower and the back of my hands were on fire.
Oh, my
man.
God.
Not the palms, but the back. And so I was like, you have to be kidding me.
Oh,
Like-
my God.
Oh, my
So I
God.
went to bed and I put my arms up. There's a bay window behind our bed right now because we're remodeling, and there's a glass piece on it. And I just laid my hands there. And
On
it
the
was
glass,
like,
so it's
yeah,
cooler.
it was cold.
Oh, God.
My mouth is still just hanging open this whole story.
Now, I'm curious if she's ever gotten caught.
So when she fled
she
from
spend time?
Walmart,
Yeah.
somebody followed her and got a plate. And when the police followed her, they had to break it off for safety. She was not going to stop. And
Holy
then,
cow.
And then I believe there's warrants out. But then she was back in town. This happened in March, and she was back in town just a few weeks ago.
Oh
So
my
if you
Somebody
see
saw
her, if you see her walk into your store, can you ask her to leave?
I mean,
I don't think I would speak. Yeah, if she
So-
walked in the store, we would just call police because we know how she is.
right.
You know
And
what she's there
we
for.
know that she's wanted, right? And we know that she's probably going to be
and
there to
do you
steal. but
consider that armed, having pepper spray?
I was
Or
gonna
she
say,
could-
is it
She could
assault?
have more than that,
I
but yeah.
think it's assault is the threat of, battery is actually the injury,
Yeah.
and I think it could be aggravated battery because there's
Right.
kind of technically a weapon.
yeah,
Yeah.
right,
But
right.
I didn't look up to see what the actual charges were.
Interesting.
know.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't
Spitting
know
on
that
somebody
happened.
is
Is
I
battery.
knew that, and
Mhm.
especially with COVID, they've
I did
really
get
like
spit on, I think twice, but
Yeah.
ugh,
just by some
Yeah.
just by some older lady in a scooter.
I remember when me and the guy that I worked with for a little bit in there, we busted this kid stealing alcohol, and it was UV blue. And the cops come, and the cops like, really? Like, you stole alcohol, and you're taking? He's like, so what girl did talk to you into
that's
doing
funny.
this?
Yeah.
That's really funny.
The kid felt like such an idiot.
Is there a max amount that someone has to steal for you to call the police, or is it always a call to the police?
Not always, because $10 just sounds ridiculous, and
Yeah.
it's kind of a
For
waste of their
everyone's time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
exactly.
the time spent on it. But if you have a history, or whether I've caught you or not,
Yeah.
or if you're like underage stealing alcohol, or you go out a fire exit in our state, it doesn't matter how much you steal, it's a felony.
Yeah.
So there's like different what do you call it, rules to follow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it could be any one thing or a combination of.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you run,
Yeah.
it's automatically a call to the police.
Yeah.
So
How often do you have runners?
All the time.
I don't. It's often enough.
It is.
But we I don't know how do you say, like, kind of pick and choose since COVID, I guess you could say.
Okay.
But there can be a runner who's just scared. It's just plain.
And can you tell by
no.
you've done this for so long, you can tell by their facial expressions that they're either scared, they're professional,
Yeah.
I mean, can you tell? When
there's times where I've looked at somebody and said flat out, like, look, don't run, dude. It's just going to make it worse. And then their face changes a little bit, like, oh, how do you know?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, I've been doing this
see
a
it.
long time.
Yeah, I'm like, look, just come with me. Just let's work this out,
Yeah.
And then, and most of the time, I wouldn't say most of the time, but I don't think I generally have a presence that scares people. Like, maybe if a 6'2",
Right.
250-pound guy steps in front of you, you're gonna
It's always the way that you approach them too. And I
Yeah.
would think that now, unfortunately, or even back then, when you approach someone, you don't know if they have anything on them. So you
Yeah.
have to kind
Right.
of just talk through it like, hey, you got some of my stuff.
That's why you always keep that, like,
Yeah.
6
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were
Yeah.
doing 6 foot distance before it was cool.
That's my reactionary and social distance gap. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well versed.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh gosh, we've been garbage picking before. Did you garbage pick at all?
What?
If somebody throws the
Oh,
package
the
in the
packaging
garbage
away, yeah.
Mm.
Well, you know, I've helped you in the past.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And you'd be like, hey, go into the bathroom.
Oh, that's the worst. That's
Go
the
into
worst
the
'cause you don't know
bathroom.
what's in there.
Because
'Cause if
I
it's a
can't leave this
female-
person
Yep.
and see if they
Yep.
throw. And I'd be like, yep, there's pregnancy tests in here.
I think I had to do that once. We were looking for tags on clothes.
Yeah.
And I went into the woman's bathroom in the back, and she had stuck all the tags inside the feminine
Oh, the
disposal
garbage.
garbage thing,
Yeah.
whatever.
Ugh.
And I went to go pull it out. There was like a pad stuck
Stop
to it.
it.
I'm like, oh. Trying to shake it off.
Sick. Sick. You're like, I have it. It's all good.
I have her DNA.
Meredith 1.
Oh, sick.
Mystery guest 0.
That's a ride or die there for you.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Totally not related to security. There was just the cutest elderly gentleman one time just standing at the end of a frozen aisle at the first location.
Yeah.
And just standing there, kind of holding on to his cart, and I'm walking around and I walked by. So I smiled and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And he just like looked at me. And so I go, "How you doing?" With a little more emphasis and eyebrows raised. And his face just was like, "Oh, hi." Like, "Oh, you're talking to me?"
Oh, that's sad.
But I feel like that's kind of the world we live in too.
Yeah.
I know.
And, like, people just,
I work in the city a lot, and one of my friends was like, because when I first started working out there, I'd be like, "Oh my God, they're gonna know I'm an outsider," And she's like, "Just don't smile at anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody in the city." And I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So it was a little easier with masks, but now people are walking around without masks on, and I'm just like,
and people are looking for the smile in the eyes.
Yes.
So I think
I always
can
lift
see
my
it.
eyebrows, like, Are you friendly?
Can we talk about the one time that the woman pooped in your office?
What?
Do you remember? remember that?
Look at, she has
No.
so many stories. She doesn't, how could you not remember that?
I just remember the one time we went hands-on with a guy and he crapped his pants.
Ew.
I remember
But
the
we didn't know
woman.
it until like he was almost gone because
You were like, what the hell is that smell?
yes, it was one of
Ew.
those things where you're in there with it and you just don't really like notice it right away. And then when everybody leaves and you leave and come back, you're like, what the, what? Oh, I'm out. That's your case. Bye. Going home.
I remember that a woman pooped in her office and she called the store director and said, hey, would you mind coming in here for a minute?
I can't believe I don't remember.
I need you to sign something or something like that. Sure, I'll be right in. And his
Oh my
office was right across.
God.
And he walked in and he like looked at you and was like, what the fuck? You just wanted to make sure someone else enjoyed it. What was
Oh
going
my
on?
I can
God.
totally see you doing that.
That was years ago. I remember
You guys are
telling me
sick.
about it.
Which can I ask which store director was it? You guys-
Because we're all like, it's Wednesday.
We never write anything
And
down.
then we're like, what are we going to talk about? I'm like, I don't know.
I was saying today, I was like, wait, I had a driving story and I forgot.
Yeah, it's just as soon as she sat down, it's like you put the headphones on and put the microphone in front of you and be like,
Yeah, I forget everything. It's terrible.
I remember the other time I was spit on besides the not so nice old
Ew.
lady.
Yeah.
It was a guy that was in town working at the carnival. And I can't
Oh.
remember what he stole, but it was enough. I think it was alcohol actually, but it was enough to address.
Right.
Because I guess there are times that we'll let real little things go. You really have to be wise too. Because what if you take a $5 here and you miss a push out there?
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, the police showed up and he spit at me. And I just remember looking over. I was sitting down, looking next to me, and all I saw were feet kicking above the garbage can because they just, like, I don't know what else they
Grabbed
thought he
him.
was going to do. Yep, but they
Yeah.
grabbed
Wow.
him. And I don't think that they hurt him or anything, but it was definitely like, well, and that was another
was a
one of those-
reaction.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
like-
It was, and a response, I would say, because there was no way out.
Yeah.
Like we were in the way of the door, and I think that we don't think about stuff like that until you get into a
Right.
position when you're like, oh God, I'm in a corner. Like,
Yeah.
where do we go?
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
go through ya.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I got a good one. So I remember this this one time.
I'm just amazed. I'm not even
Oh.
talking this episode. I'm just listening.
Yeah, and trying to hold your chin up. Stop drooling. It starts.
She's just like, yeah, really?
My eyes are so
Holy
wide.
smokes.
Holy
My eyes are so wide and my mouth is just hanging open this whole episode.
I've been looking forward to this one.
I know, me too.
Oh man. Okay, so I can't remember what this lady stole the first time that she stole, but
First time.
well, I don't think she stole more than once, but she stole, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm not because I remember her. I'll tell you why in a minute. So she stole. We got her in the office. We take people's information, we put it in the system. If it's our first time and it's not that big of a deal, bye. You can leave
Yeah.
now. We had to call the police for her, but I think it was because the dollar amount was pretty high. Well, I remember the officer getting there, and she just like went limp on the floor, and
Like acted like she passed out or something.
yeah. And so there's different things you can do to people to kind of wake them up or to see if they're okay or to make them stop faking. And
Right.
she got a gooseneck to the wrist, and then she got right up.
What's
so
a
she,
gooseneck?
Like bent it.
folded
She bent
yeah,
it, yeah.
you bend it.
You
And
did that to her, or
I didn't.
the officer did?
Yeah,
okay.
the officer did. And I was kind of like relieved because I'm sitting there like, oh God, we're gonna have a medical emergency. Like,
Yeah.
is she really? She was fine. So they took her away, whatever. And then a number of months later, in fact, I think she went to jail. It's not funny. I think she went to jail or prison. It's funny.
It is funny. They
And-
deserve it.
And I remember sitting up front, and they used to have these displays. It was Christmas time ish because there was a fake fireplace.
Oh,
I think a rug. There was a footstool and a chair, like a reading chair, like a
Oh,
cush
yeah.
chair. You don't see these in retailers anymore, I don't think, or not too many. So I'm sitting by the front door, just like doing the me, just sitting there, right? And I actually,
observing.
yeah, I actually figured out at some point along the line that if people think, team members too, if they think you're doing nothing, they'll steal. They think you're not watching. So after a while, when people would make comments, I'm just like, well, I mean, whatever. Or if people are standing around talking,
Yeah.
I still sometimes walk by and go, hey, if you want to stand around and do nothing all day, join security. Otherwise, go to work. But usually that's to people I know. I wouldn't say that to somebody I don't know. But anyway, okay, so I'm sitting in the chair. I'm totally chilling. I'm kind of just watching the door. And this lady comes in, and she walks up to me. And I mean, like, I'm reclined with my feet up in this chair. And she's like, do you work here? And I have a hard time lying.
Yeah.
I don't,
Oh my gosh, it's hard.
I only
yeah.
lie in the office when I feel like safety is, or like there's something bad about to happen. Otherwise, I just sort of talk in a way that you assume what you think I'm saying.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she's, do you work here? And I'm like, I think the greeter can help you. And she's like, but do you work here? And I'm like, do you need something? Do you need help finding something? Because I think the lady over there can help you. She's like, you work here, right? In security. And I came up out of that chair like in a matrix, kind of in one motion. And then I was like on like powerful
On guard,
or power back,
yeah,
whatever.
right,
And I was
yeah.
like, do you need something? And I recognized her. And it was this woman. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to die today. I mean, this
my
might be it,
gosh.
Yeah.
And I actually don't even remember what happened that night. But I got word the following summer she died.
Oh no.
I don't know if it was I think it was an overdose, to be honest. And this was like over 10 years ago, probably like 15 years ago. And back then, I can say 99.9% of the stuff I've learned about drugs was in this job.
Yeah.
I bet.
And not to do with me,
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, she passed away, and like I'm not gonna lie, like my one thought was, well, that's what you get for messing with somebody. Like, I am a
We're
protected.
laughing over her. Oh no.
I'm not.
I hope she doesn't haunt us.
Like your squeaky cartwheel in the stores.
Karma, bitch.
Well, she would haunt me, not you guys, if
good
anybody.
Lord.
But no, man, like,
So
yeah.
do you ever stop anyone? I have the craziest question.
You have the
I
best
love it.
questions.
Keep going.
Do you ever stop someone and then, I know there's some people that you probably ask not to come back, right? Please don't shop here,
Yeah.
steal here, whatever.
Yep.
You can, like,
and then there's some
trespass them.
people that
Don't
you just
shop
kind
here,
of
don't steal
smack
here.
them on the hand and say, you have a record now, but, we'll see you probably next week.
Yep.
Do they kind of like walk up and give you a wink like, yeah, I know it's you and I'm not going to steal today? Or do you have people that say hello to you because they know you've busted them
Nope.
before?
Nope. And
Okay.
I think mostly.
I feel like because they're embarrassed.
Yeah. I think most people are either embarrassed or nervous. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're using the self-checkout, in general, you have to make sure you're doing it right.
Right, yeah.
Because honest people can still make mistakes, and the machines can always fault too. But for the most part, if we say, like, don't come back, you better not come back, because, like, my boss doesn't forget a face. I mean,
Yeah.
she doesn't. People walk in February with 3 layers of clothes on, and she's like, oh, there's your Yu-Gi-Oh guy. And I'm like, what? She's
Yu-Gi-Oh.
like, there's your card thief. And I'm like, where? Just walked in the grocery doors, and I'm like, you could tell by his elbow? Like, she doesn't forget, and she doesn't miss a thing.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's why she's the boss, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. She's great.
I like her.
Oh, she's.
Yeah.
She was your boss
I
too?
love her.
No, I just knew her.
Okay,
From
okay.
when I did the job too.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's why she's in the position
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
in.
And she came on, and I mean, I didn't just train her, but you travel around to different locations with all the different people that work in that department. You learn from them. You take a little bit from everybody, and then you make it your own. You still
Okay.
follow all the rules,
Sure.
but everybody's
Of
got a
course.
different personality and disposition and things. And so, I mean,
I
like,
did meet some cool people traveling around.
Yeah.
Doing that job.
Yeah,
There's some pretty cool dudes.
most of them are gone now. Thanks.
Are they?
Did you have parents
think-
that stole
you
and their
think that-
kids were there? Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, she
Cassandra
has.
said- Oh,
I've been there with her when
I
when you've
remember a
had that.
guy who tried to put a toy down his young son's pants,
Mm.
and somewhere between heartbreak and complete pissing you off, because
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
that kid, his face was like, no, daddy, no. And I
Oh
was
my
just like, I mean, if he was
gosh.
5, like, he was young. He was old enough to know better, but not old enough to, do anything against his dad. And then I don't know if it was his sibling or if it was a different case. The parents had the kid push the cart out.
What the
Wow.
Like, yeah, and that was
hell?
at the first location. And actually, I had something like that. Maybe it was last year. This lady had her son push a cart out while she was at the check lane, and she had only scanned a few things. And so
The kid probably didn't know what he was doing. She's probably like, okay, you're
Right.
good. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
he was old enough. I think
Oh,
he was
I
like,
see.
yeah, he was probably like 10
Dang
or
it.
12. Probably like 10.
They say teach them while they're young, but that's not what you
Oh,
want to
yeah,
teach them
no,
when they're
no,
young.
Nope,
Yeah.
getting that one twisted.
Wrong way, yeah.
So she sent him out, and I really kind of need her to be out too. So it was just sort of a matter of like, are you trying to get out? Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me move. Oh, you're going this way. Oh, did you need out the doors? Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Oh, I'm really sorry. Are you okay? Like, where's your mom? Like, are you alone, or you're not old enough to drive, right? Like, not really stopping somebody. Yeah.
Just stalling them.
Yeah.
And then the mom comes out like, oh,
I didn't know what's wrong. Blah, blah, blah.
what a bitch.
What is the
Sometimes
percentage of people that lie, that say, "Oh, I didn't know"?
100.
Not well.
Or
The
do you
first
just
thing out of their mouth is "I didn't know," or some kind of lie is in the 90s easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would say maybe like 30% are easily, you can talk to them and be like, look, just you're not making it any easier by lying. It's clear what happened.
Yeah.
It's not just my word against yours.
Mhm.
And with internals, I've told, and I think a lot of people know, like they know that we're good at our jobs and everything, but like, I don't understand why some people think that all these cameras, or some people don't look at cameras and they don't.
Yeah.
Well, because
or they
they're
don't-
focused on what they're doing.
Right.
They're not focused on what's around
Right.
them,
They're-
right?
Or they're looking around them, but they forget that there's cameras
Yeah.
up. Or
Yeah.
they look for cameras
Big
and
Brother's
they
always
forget.
watching.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's either they're looking for people or they're looking for cameras. They might be looking for both, but like we're pretty quick. So we
Yeah.
could do
Yeah.
either. I mean, and you
Especially
can't
with a boss like you described. Oh, there you go. There's this person and this person,
She don't even have to leave
All
the
right,
office.
on my
She's like,
way.
go get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Or she'll be like, "Oh, that's so and so. I guess this will be the third time." Because sometimes we don't tell people not to come back. You can't always tell if they're really sincere. Like, I'm never going to do this again.
Yeah,
I swear. People
yeah,
say that.
yeah.
And then you see them again, and you're like, "Did you just stole?" Okay, let's do it again. And so we did catch we caught somebody 3 times, I think.
Oh,
And
gosh.
it's like the third time, it's like, okay, we're done chasing you. Like, just don't come back
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
So, but there wasn't a lot of repeats at the first location.
That's
but
really-
I'm not
well,
as good at picking people out as she is.
That's
so.
stupid, though, that you would just keep going back to the same place.
But that
Yeah.
probably means they're doing it everywhere.
Oh, true.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
They probably forgot that they've
And we
been caught
see-
twice at that place.
Oh,
because
my God.
that's probably their whole life.
What the hell?
We do
This whole
see
episode
notices.
is just me saying, oh, my God.
So you have the pictures back in your offices.
So we get
Yeah.
emails.
Of people.
Yeah,
It's the
we
wall
do.
of shame.
What if you had a wall when in like what do they call that in the like foyer? What do they call that?
Oh, like the bad check
Oh,
wall?
yeah.
Yeah, like a bad check wall. What if you had like
That's like a 1980s and
I
90s
know. I just
thing.
aged myself.
what?
Kids
My
don't
boss
even know
doesn't
what
even know how to
checks
write a
are.
check.
Oh,
God
my
love her.
God.
Anyways, like what is it called? The corral or what is that called between the
the
two doors?
Vestibule.
Vestibule. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what if you had a wall
Yeah.
of just I'm gonna quote unquote bad thieves because they
Yeah.
because they get caught.
The wall of
Pictures
shame.
of them in the
Yeah.
The
vestibule.
wall of shame. Instead of the wall of fame, you get the wall of
Yeah.
shame.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, so as
you
soon as they
can't,
walk in,
'cause-
they give peace to their picture. You know that they're going to be up to nothing.
It's
no
like when they
good.
do
Yeah.
a grand opening, all the people that open, you're like, there I am.
There is that pictures. There is a huge picture.
I
of-
know. The grand opening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do have pictures. Like, this is another thing my boss will do. She'll see somebody and be like, I got a case on that guy. And I'm like, oh, what happened? I don't know. Hang on. And she will go. So we have like the small wall. And then while she was on leave, popping out babies, we have like the other wall that I
Big
started,
wall. Is it
the file
huge?
cabinets wall. And it's
Oh,
so that's
okay.
big. And then there's this little file like thing that you would have on your desk. And it's just full of these little cutouts, these little
Oh my
same thing, but little
gosh,
pictures.
yeah.
She will take a stack of that and go like she's dealing out cards, and she'll pull it out and throw it, and it's from 2017.
Oh my
I am not kidding.
gosh.
I am not kidding.
And it's someone that just walked into the store.
yes.
Wow.
That is
Oh, I knew I saw them
crazy.
somewhere.
I would never remember. I'd be
I
like,
know.
well, they look really familiar.
yeah. Oh,
I
do
bet I
know
saw
you
them on
from-
Friday night for a drink. I bought them a drink at the bar.
I must be friends with them on Facebook or something.
Oh, there was one lady. Your picture, the Clopen effect.
Yeah.
Cart with the kid. It just like, oh, that hurts me because we
Yeah,
see
I-
it, right?
I know,
we see
I
the
know.
video.
It's the whole reason why I
safety in
did it.
you.
I had you in mind when I did it.
So at that first location, I caught a lady stealing once, and she had at least one small kid. and I don't know how long it was after I caught her. And she was, most people, we're on the same level. Like, look, either I'm a mom too, or I'm a fill in the blank. Like, I can relate to almost everybody one
Except
way or
for
another.
the theft part.
Right. Well, I stole when I was a little kid, but my sister got caught, and that was enough. I was
Yeah.
done. So anyway, so I see this kid one day, and I'm maybe like a quarter of the way across the store. It's a pretty big store. And I see this kid standing, and I think he was standing on a bag of diapers facing the front. And I was like
inside of the car.
yes, in
my
the basket part.
gosh.
And it was like a dream where you can't run fast enough. And I'm
Yes.
like hauling. He wasn't going to jump. I don't know if he was going to fall, but I am one of those moms
Yes.
who thought that my kid would never fall, and he did when he was little.
Mhm.
They don't know. Like, they don't know. They just like, oh, here I go. I'm, just climbing or whatever. Anyway, as I'm like maybe 15 feet from the cart, she turns around, and it's this woman. And I had only just met with her within like a couple months. So she knew right away who I was, because she did not like me at all, even though I wasn't the problem. It was her actions,
Of course.
So anyway, I'm running up like to say, look out, the baby. And as I'm going to try and figure out what to say, she turns around, and I'm like, I just like,
never mind.
go to the side. And
Never
then I'm
mind.
just like, how do you, it's like a catch-22. If
Yeah.
you say something, now we might have this huge issue. And if I don't, what if the baby falls?
Right.
And, oh my god.
Then you got to call an ambulance and deal with that.
So you're
Oh my
very, very
gosh.
good at your job. Very
Yeah.
good. We know this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm going to call them thieves.
Yeah.
Have they looked over and they've seen you and put something back because they know who you are?
I don't think. I mean, I've had people lots of times over the years look at me and see me several times.
Yeah.
And I usually, if it ends up in the office, a lot of times I would say, "Didn't you see me? Or didn't you notice me?" And part of that's just because I want to know, like,
Right. How do I make
like-
myself better?
Like I looked you in the eyes 3 times, so you should have saw me.
You're like, am I
Yeah.
really that sneaky?
and what did they say?
and then they say no.
So they really
Almost-
are just focused
well,
on what
yeah.
they're doing.
I would say like 75% probably say no, because they're tunnel vision. You get
Yeah,
tunnel vision when
yeah.
you're scared. But I would say probably like the other 25% saw me, but most of them, I did something that made them think I was shopping.
Yeah, of course.
So, but that took me a really long time, because I had to learn to stop looking people in the eye.
Yeah.
Because I want to
Yes.
say, hey, how you doing today?
Right.
And I had to just look down. I had to keep looking at shopping carts, look what's in the cart, just keep walking. Maybe carry a list, or maybe carry the purse.
I've seen you do quite a few things. I won't name them because you probably still do them now. But
Did
I've
you
seen
ever
like,
pretend? Did you ever pretend like you were shoplifting too?
Oh, yeah. Once. Only
she's
once
in the
that I
liquor
can-
aisle with
Is
someone.
that
You know
like-
what? That UV
That
looks
looks
really
good.
good.
Let me
It
put
was
that down my
liquor.
shirt.
It was liquor. It was way, way back. I mean, like
Oh
probably
my
in
God.
my first year or two.
Is that not entrapment?
I think so. I don't think I knew it at the time. The guy was looking, and I just remember walking down the aisle and grabbing a bottle, and I don't know if I concealed it or if
Or
I
just like pretend like
tucked
yeah.
it like in my arm and kept walking. But we walk in the aisles all the time.
Right.
I mean, you could say some of the things that we do, we select items, or
Yeah.
but I think one of the most difficult things is to walk in the store like you don't know where you're going.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
when you live
know
there-
it inside and out. Yeah.
When you live there, you turn the corner because you know what's left and right and straight. But when you don't shop all the time, you're always looking for where's this aisle.
Where's
Oh,
the
okay.
spaghetti
Where's
this
sauce?
stuff,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was probably the one of the hardest things. And I still don't do that all the time, because you don't have to if you're not watching somebody.
Right.
But you know what? I do shop a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I don't have to fake it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
but I could be looking for something, and I'm just flicking through like the clearance stuff, or I'm walking in seasonal. Who knows? I mean, you're there.
You got to
You're
keep
walking the
yourself busy
floor,
too, right?
But I don't miss it. I'm still
Yeah.
watching. I'm still watching.
I would
Oh,
always have to
see
like
you.
take a cart. Like
Yeah.
I have to walk with a
Yeah,
cart.
yeah.
You know?
It just gives your hands something
yeah.
to do while you're
I'd feel
looking.
naked if
Yeah.
I didn't have a cart.
Yeah,
like,
Put a
yeah,
couple
it's
things
weird.
in it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But then you got to ditch that cart
I know.
when it's time to move.
Oh yeah, I would just boom.
Did
I
you
wouldn't
ever
care.
go back and put it away?
I'm sure I did. I'd probably grab it again and then start walking again.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I usually put stuff away because I I mean, it's messy enough.
Well, then
as
it's something
it is.
else to
Yeah.
do later. You can shop it and then put it all
and
away.
then put it away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've done
no.
that.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I don't want this. Never mind.
So on average, how many people do you bust? I'll just say it. A
Oh
week.
my gosh. You know, I don't know if I've
A week,
ever.
a month, a year.
I don't think
Maybe
there's an
I'd
average.
Actually, maybe I don't
There's
want
not
to
an
know because I don't want to
average?
know that this is
I
happening
know.
all the
Okay, let me tell you
time.
this. Well, this is an old statistic, but 7 out of 10 people are either thinking about stealing, or they just stole.
So we're in
So we're the
2021, so 9 out of 10.
We're the three.
Yeah, exactly.
Thinking.
yeah.
I would never steal.
Doing.
I would
Done.
never steal.
Well, I know
Yeah,
I mean,
none
I
of
did
our,
when I was a kid. I would steal a
Right.
pack of gum.
none of
Yeah.
our listeners would do that. So, and now
No.
that they
No, I'm sure.
know that someone's always watching,
Yeah.
they won't. But
Somebody's
we
always
talk about-
watching. Always.
can we talk about real quick? I mean, I know we're getting long, but maybe we can turn this into a double episode because this is just so flippin' interesting to me. I don't know how much time you have, but this is so great.
All night.
All right. So on the second hour, which will be our second week, can we talk about injuries and can we talk about emergencies and can we talk about
Yeah.
just everything else not theft related?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because that's the other. I mean, our first goal is, I think, in every security, department is safety. That's your
Mhm,
1st,
mhm.
and then you want to protect the company, so that's your liability.
Yeah.
And then that whole loss prevention stealing thing is the last thing, but that's what I call the funnest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the biggest story that stands out to me is, again, like, it just feels like forever ago, but early 2000s. And there
That was forever ago.
it was. Okay, good. Thank you. We're not old. We're wise. An end cap of baby water collapsed. So just gallon
Oh.
jugs all busted. And it was really late at night. And and back then there was carpeted areas.
Oh,
in the
God,
store.
yeah, which is such a bad idea.
Yeah, it is.
Stores and restaurants. Why do you have carpet?
Oh, please tell me.
Kids
or let me know
puke,
when you know.
Like
Yeah.
People used to put that in their bathrooms.
Ew.
Yeah, my ex-mother-in-law had carpet in her kitchen for like 28 years.
Sick.
Yeah. I just
It
can't
was
imagine.
industrial super.
But
it was
still, why would you have carpet
I
in
don't
there?
know.
You know what? Now that I think about it, we had a house that we had carpet in the kitchen.
Yeah. It's sometimes they
but it's
just did
really,
that.
really short,
Yeah,
tight. Yeah,
the
it's like
Berber.
industrial. Oh,
Berber.
Oh, Berber.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
well,
not
you know
I'm
what I
thinking.
mean.
Just super, like hotel
Like
carpet.
super, like cheap and thin and
Okay.
real little
Yeah.
tiny loops.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I would call it Berber because that's like real short. You know,
Okay.
but anyways, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so the water collapsed. They cleaned it up. And because the carpet just across the aisle had gotten wet, they took what was next door was baby's clothes, and they pushed all the racks together towards the corner that had gotten saturated. And then they put caution tape all around it.
Okay.
So we did the best we could, so to speak, to prevent
Anyone
kind of injury, right,
stepping
getting through
there.
So it's like midnight, 11:30 or midnight. Somebody comes in, forces her way through the clothing,
Oh my God.
and comes out the other side with like flip-flops on
And fell.
and fell
What an idiot.
and busted. Well, she didn't bust anything, but she had some kind of a injury that sounded like it could, at her age, it sounded like it could have been a pre-existing. I'm not sure
And
that
then her whole
what-
family was going to Mexico the next year.
Bingo.
God, I
Wow.
hate people.
And we never hear the stories of that in retail. It doesn't, unless you're up in risk management, like
Yeah.
you never hear the outcome of anything
Right.
like
Right,
that.
right.
Right.
You
Except-
just put it in.
Except we had kids in common or from the same school or whatever.
What the
Word
hell?
got around. But you know what? That's what the family did. They bragged. We spent Christmas, the whole family, in such and such a city in Mexico.
On
the
that
fall, yeah.
store's tab.
money from my fall.
What the hell? I could never be like
Yeah.
that. Okay.
So that was part one.
Part one of
two
two
parts.
parts. Our first extended
What?
episode.
Extended episode.
Extended. We had a lot to talk about. I
Thanks
love
for
surprises.
listening.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by NameTag Productions, LLC. Entire podcast, unless otherwise stated, written by the hosts. Drums, written and performed by my son, Steven. The Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. If we have to be all in this together, we might as well make it fun.